Yep, we finally got it. We got that Milwaukee sander, the battery powered. So this here is a tool that I've been waiting to try out for a little bit now. I've seen a lot of guys trying it out. And to me, this is gonna be a game changer for the industry because you don't have the hose, you're battery powered, you're gonna be mobile, and there's so many uses that you can use this for, not only sanding down cars, and I'm gonna show you guys that in this video. So this is not sponsored by Milwaukee. I did purchase this myself, and I'm just gonna show you guys what I think it's gonna be great for and how it's gonna be basically a game changer in the industry, because now Milwaukee's making some of the products for the auto body industry, and to me, that's gonna be a big thing for them because auto body techs use almost double the amount of tools that the normal mechanic uses because we use sanders as well as impact wrenches and a wide variety of tools as well. So let's go over this awesome tool from Milwaukee. All right, so first thing, we'll open up the box. I've already taken it out, and it comes with some attachments for the vacuum sander. That's one thing I'm gonna show you guys in this video because I do have two of the Milwaukee battery powered vacuum. So this is gonna be awesome because we use the Festool in this shop, which is an electric powered vacuum that hooks up to the DA sander as well as blocks to keep the shop clean because we are an air conditioned shop. So not only is this gonna be awesome because you're gonna be mobile, but it's gonna keep the shop clean as well, or in your house. So I thought of so many things that you could use this for, as well as auto body and doing stuff at your house, that it is gonna be really a game changer. So not only does it come with the vacuum, but they give you another pad in case you're using the sticky back. And this is not something that we're gonna be using here at the shop. We use mainly Velcro here, but one nice feature is that this here pad comes off without having to use a wrench. You guys know if you've had DA sanders or any tools, they give you those wrenches. We end up losing them, and then we go around to all the body men in the shop to see if they have the one that you need for your tool to get that pad off. So that's gonna be something right off the bat that you don't have to worry about because this here has its own way of unlocking the pad and getting it off without having to worry about wrenches. So right away, that's gonna be one nice feature from it. And I went ahead and already hooked up the vacuum sander. So what I'm mainly gonna be using this for is gonna be the aspect of sanding down my paint after it is painted. So I don't wanna have a hose around my freshly painted parts with a chance of that leaning on it or getting it scratched up. So what I like to do is normally hit my nibs, and this is gonna be the tool that I'm gonna be using it for. So we did go with the 3/16 because I like more of an aggressive sander. A lot of times people will use the 3/32 sander for more of the polishing side, but to me that's just a slower tool and I'm not really a fan of those products. So this is the one that I think is gonna be mainly for the body man as well as in the paint shop, prepping out cars with primer, because you guys know we do have large panels that we have to get sanded, and we do not wanna waste any time being we are a production shop. So first thing we're gonna do is get the battery in it. We've got the smaller one in here. This is the M12. So this has the smaller battery as well as some of the bigger 5.0s that will adapt into this one and work as well. So let's go ahead and get this thing tried out on some new parts and see how nice it works on that for the first thing we tested on. All right, so first thing I did was I put on one of the interface pads because you guys know we like to have that sponge when we're sanding down our parts, and that's gonna be compatible with the same Velcro that you're using with the pad that they give you. So we're using the 400 DA and we're gonna try it out on this here new hood and see how nice it works. So I've seen some guys, they like to have the adjustment in the middle, that way it's not too fast and it's not too slow. And this does have a power on button, so that way you can know you've got power. Right here you'll see your battery length as well as knowing that you've got the tool on, because you don't want to leave this around. Sometimes these can fall over, and I noticed this one likes to spin quite a bit once you get it moving. So right away I can tell you one thing, it's a very quiet tool, and I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. I think I have it down too much, but we'll adjust it up and we'll see what this will do now. So far this thing really does sand nice. It's got a real smooth lope to it. Even though this is the 3/16, which is more aggressive, you would have no problems once we get into that side of the polishing end of it using this here tool. So we've got it turned up to a little over halfway, and you guys see it sanding down that E-coat like nothing. And it's really, really smooth. So I'm curious how long this battery will last you. This is being the smaller one. Let's go ahead and see how long this battery will last, if we could get through the whole hood and maybe continue on some other parts. That way we can know the longevity of the batteries. All right, so now we've got our hood fully sanded. And this isn't something that really takes a long time when you got these fresh E-coated parts. So we buzzed through it quickly. It did a heck of a job on it. So far, I'm really liking this tool, and I am a big fan of the Milwaukee products. Like I said, I've been using them for many, many years. So on the top of the tool is the power button. And you guys see there, now we have half the battery life from sanding that hood down with the smaller battery. So that means if you get the bigger battery, and we do have those, you're gonna get a lot more life out of this here tool and be able to get a lot more sanded with it. So this is just one aspect of it. And I wanna show you guys now something that I think is really cool about it with the vacuum attachment. All right, so like I told you guys, we have both of the battery powered vacuums from Milwaukee. We've got this smaller unit, and we actually have the backpack as well. So this is where, to me, this comes in really, really handy, especially if you want to keep something clean. So all you got to do is hook up that attachment to that adapter that comes in the box with this here tool, and now you have basically a fest tool that's portable. So I can take this whole unit, go over to where I'm going to start working, just flip on my switch, and now we have basically a fest tool with the battery powered setup on it. So pretty awesome to think that you have a mobile unit that is actually battery powered, and you're not gonna have to have any kind of cords or anything like that. So, all right, so one thing I did notice was they gave you multiple side vacuum adapters. I think that is based off of whether you're a righty or a lefty. So we had it the other way, and that was in my way of holding it and really getting a nice sand with it. When you guys cock it off to the side of the left, you guys see here now the righty has a better deal with it. So we've got it hooked up to our backpack. We are fully mobile now. And what do you think, Mike? We could go anywhere now and sand down cars?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead now and try out something, because I'm thinking about if I sneak in to where the body man's at, I could get the car prepped out while he's working on it, and that way I'm ahead of the game. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
You want me in your stall with you?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's try this baby out with the vacuum sander. All right, so we've powered it on. We've got our 2-bar. We're gonna go ahead and hit this. You guys might not be able to hear me well because this is a powerful vacuum, but it's gonna really suck up the dust. That makes it a lot nicer. Let me turn this off a minute. You guys see here that when I was sanding it now, being that this is off to the side, it's a lot better for the righty. And I think when you do it the other way, you have it for the lefty. So I think that's why they did it. If I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know about it, Milwaukee, but that's the way it works better for me, with it turned off to the side, being I'm a righty. So, all right, so now is where this is really gonna come in handy. We got a part right here. We could prep them anywhere we want now. We're really gonna get ahead of these guys. All right, so all kidding aside, this is a top of the line tool. One of the greatest features about this tool is if you've ever done any type of auto body at your house when you have a small compressor, you're really taxing that compressor and getting it hot, and that's where you build up a lot of your moisture. So what I used to do years ago was get all my sanding done, and then I'd come back the next day when that compressor cooled down, because when you're sanding with a DA and a grinder, that is what really taxes that compressor the most. And you will completely alleviate that now when you're doing something with the battery powered sander. So for you guys at the house that don't have the setup like we have here, this is gonna be the thing to buy. And this is $299, but this is gonna be well worth it because you're not gonna have that problem with getting a lot of moisture by heating up your compressor and then dealing with it once you start to spray. So get yourself a battery powered DA from Milwaukee, and that way when you go to spray, you have a nice cool compressor, and by the time it gets hot, you've already sprayed the job. So now I wanna show you guys what we're really gonna be using this for. All right, so you guys see here the setup for our buffing. We've got this mobile, everything is battery powered on the cart. You guys see we have the old school buffer from Milwaukee. This is about 8 years old, and this thing has held up since then and worked beautifully. So we've got the big one, we've got the 2 small ones that I use, and now we've got the 6-inch DA sander that we're gonna be using as well. So when you're nibbing down your parts, you don't want that hose close to that fresh paint. That's why I picked this up. So we've got our 1500, we've got our 3000, and we've got some other stuff like the 1000 grit to get stuff sanded down a little coarser if needed. So this is why I purchased this here sander. So I'll be fully mobile. I can bring this over to where I'm buffing, hit my nibs. We're gonna go ahead and take care of some of the nibs with it now and show you guys how awesome this whole setup is gonna be now with the whole setup from Milwaukee. And I do have a lot of other products that I use from Milwaukee here at the shop as well. So let's go ahead and test out this DA for what I've got it for. All right, so we went ahead and put a piece of 1500 grit. We did take off the interface pad because I like to get my nibs sanded down flat. You don't want to have any mountains in them, but I did see a piece of dirt in this. And there it is. You guys see right there, we've got a big piece of dirt. Now that the dust is around it, it's more visible. So we're just gonna go ahead and buzz it down. And just like that, you got no more nib. And what I like about this is you don't have the hose that's hanging down on the bottom of the sander that can hit, especially if you're doing something on like the top of a hood. So, all right, you guys see the nib is gone now that we sanded it with our 1500 grit on the new sander. We'll go ahead and get this polished up, and I'm gonna show you one thing that this is really gonna come in handy for as well, not just sanding. All right, so we've got another use. You guys see here, we have our pad on it. This is our polishing pad. This thing could be used just like a random orbital polisher. So you'll hit it with your rotary, then you'll go ahead and put your polishing pad on and get one more use out of this nice DA. So let's go ahead and we'll hit it with our polish, and then we'll refine it up one more time and show you guys how this works really well for this as well. So you get it polished up with your rotary, with your 2-step, and then you come back with a nice fine pad that fits right on that 6-inch DA, and you can get this refined even more without having any swirl marks. So this is gonna be a game changer, this here tool, because you have so many uses for it, not only at the body shop, but as well as house, and you can be mobile with it by not having to use any type of air or electric, just the battery powered battery that comes if you buy the kit, or you have the batteries, because we use a lot of the tools here in the shop as well. All right, so we made it back to the home front, and now we're gonna show you guys what I like to use this for as well. So this being that it's battery powered, this would be awesome if you were gonna go to like a car show, because you don't have obviously access to different types of electrical or stuff like that. Compressors obviously for sure, but something like this now you could even use to wax your car. So what we're gonna do here is just show you a little bit of what I like to do in here. We use our fine pad. We got to turn it back on. I forget to do that, but it just puts down a nice even coat of wax like you normally would with your hand, but this one is gonna be a lot more tighter, and it's gonna give you a nicer polish because you're not just going with the big old Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. You're going with a tighter Orbital, and you're gonna be able to get it nice and tight and get it all waxed up. In And if you break one of these out at the car show, you're gonna be the coolest guy there. So let's go ahead and take it off now. And what I like to do is use a microfiber. I'll just lay it on here. And these are nice rags I got from that show from the rag company. But you just go ahead and polish it off with the rag. And let the tool do the work. You guys seen here, instead of you rubbing your hand around, you just put your DA on it and take it on and off. So I don't think you can beat this tool from Milwaukee. This is one of their best things that I've seen them make yet, since their rotary buffer that we bought 8 years ago and we're still using to this day. So this is gonna be one tool that I use every single day in the shop. And I'm sure after 6 months, it's still gonna be alive because Milwaukee stands behind their tools. So I hope you guys got something out of this one. I knew I was getting this and I wanted to show you guys because I know a lot of you guys at the house will be able to use this as well and have a beautiful outcome with it. So I hope you guys liked it and we'll see you on the next one.